Hey guys, and welcome to the Urban Farming Institute and the Act Now video series. This is really an important part of the story that we tell here at the Urban Farming Institute. Act Now, nourishing ourselves holistically. This is an interesting series of videos with all kinds of tips, techniques, strategies to manage all kinds of things. Food production, for example, stress management, calming exercises, super powerful nutrition to pump up the immune system to help you through this corona challenge. This is all part of a community service that we do here at the Urban Farming Institute. Remember, it's called Act Now, and we're in the city of Oakland Park. Thank you to the city of Oakland Park for just giving us the opportunity to tell this story. Here it goes. All right, and we're going to do a little bit of a review, and then I'm going to show you how to solve some problems in case you overdo it, which people are known to do. You know, if a little bit's good, a whole lot's better. But in the case of gardening, sometimes if a little bit's good, less is better. So let's just review very quickly. As you know, last week we talked about this a little bit, and you saw my hands magically wafting about above a tray of coconut. And I just want to reinforce this idea because there have been a lot of comments about why in the world would you not plant a number of seeds in each one of these cells? And the reason is, well, we just don't need to. And if you think about that for a reason, and here this is a shameless plug for Johnny Seeds. Now, we're not being paid by Johnny Seeds to do this, but Johnny Seeds are really, really good, and we like them a lot. And if you take a look, this is Johnny Seeds. You can get them online up in Maine, and they'll send them to you. But what we like about this is that they tell us some very interesting things. We're going to be talking today about okra, and this is a great summer crop. And it's something that grows really, really easily in your garden. The challenge is pretty aggressive root system, but just know that. But okra is incredible. You can do so much with it. You can boil it, you can fry it, you can steam it, you can eat it raw, you can put it in pickling, you can ferment it, just crazy. So here's what we like about it. We know that 91% of these seeds are going to germinate. So 91 is very good. We know that was tested just in July. So we know that these seeds are very fresh and ready to go. So there's really no need to spend a lot of money overplanting a cell when you're only really interested in one plant. And some seeds can be very expensive. You know, in some varieties of tomatoes, for example, the seeds could be as much as a quarter, 25 cents, in some cases 50 cents. Those seeds we don't really pay a lot of attention to, but in this case, it's the technique. So really all we do is we take one seed, and hopefully you can see this. You can see where we're sort of doing that. You know, we're doing this. We spare no expense here. It's an amazing sort of thing, the way that we go about this. So we're just going to put these seeds in here, and then I'm going to use my stick. Listen, if you don't have a stick, you need a stick. It's important to have a stick. This is a special stick. This is a right-handed stick. Now, if you don't have a right-handed stick, then well, you're doomed. I mean, that's the end of your gardening experience. It just won't work. But in my case, you know, it's kind of an interesting sort of thing because really, I'm left-handed. So a right-handed stick isn't going to work for me. I have to have a left-handed stick. Unfortunately, I have one right here. Oh, I don't know why it wants to become a right-handed stick. I have absolutely no idea. You know, there's a little story about chopsticks. You know, chopsticks are really good sticks for planting in the garden, whether they're right-handed or left-handed. And guess what? When you break apart those sticks, the chopsticks, to use as gardening tools, which side is the right stick? Well, the good news is they'll tell you automatically whichever one you pick up in whichever hand is going to be the right stick. You can't miss. So here we go. I'm going to show you how to do this. It's going to be pay attention. Take stick and simply depress the seed about a quarter of an inch. I'll hold this up, and you can see this. I'm just going to press this into the coconut about a quarter of an inch. And then I'm going to cover it up. Just like that. I'm not going to do any more than that. That's it. And here I have about, oh, I don't know, maybe 2-3 pounds of okra just in that. So if you think about, gee whiz, what am I going to put in my garden? For the summer, okra is a great crop. You know, one of the other things that we hear a lot about is, well, when do I know when to transplant? Well, take a look at this. This has been about 3 weeks. And this was planted by one of our fearless people here at UFI. And take a look at the planting technique. And you can see that, boy, that's a pretty dense bunch of, what kind of seeds are they? Well, you know, when they first started to come up, I thought they were sunflowers because of the shape of the cotyledon leaves. These are the first leaves that come out. These are the inside of the shell coat, and as the shell begins to open, the shell is actually opened as a result of pressure building up inside of the shell coat by these leaves. These are the first guys that come out. They start the photosynthetic process, and then behold, the true leaves begin to appear. These are true leaves right here, and you can tell that this is cucumber. And you can tell by the shape of the leaf. You know now that if you were starting it in a cell such as this, that this is more than ready for transplant. And why shouldn't you do that? The challenge that we have here is that many, in fact, this case, there are 5 cucumber plants. That's probably enough for one garden. And you can see, my gosh, look at this. That's just a tremendous number of cucumbers. And they're going to do very well. But you could have accomplished the same objective simply by putting one seed in each cell. Now, the good news is these were planted indoors and they were planted under light. So we know that we have enough light to germinate cucumbers inside. Not a lot of light, but a little bit of light. But take a look at this. Uh-oh. Well, look at these guys. Now, good news is we have the same story. We have the cotyledon leaves, which are right here. And then we have the beginning of the true leaves. And the true leaves really tell us what the plant is going to be. And we know by the shape of these leaves that this is a tomato plant. Well, guess what? This tomato plant has been looking for light. It's been working very, very hard to find the light, and it's begun to stretch. And as it begins to stretch, well, it's spending a lot of time just trying to get photosynthesis underway, and it becomes a real challenge for this plant. And many people would say, well, gee whiz, I don't really think I can save this plant because it's begun to stretch. And in some cases, these plants will stretch really, really a great distance, actually, sometimes a foot or more. So let me show you what we're going to do here. We're just going to take that tomato plant, and you can see those are the true leaves on top. It says, hello, I'm a tomato. And here's this developing root structure at the other end of the plant. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to show you how to plant this so that you don't get a leggy tomato. If you were to put this in the garden just like this plant more than likely would not make it, would not be sufficiently able to adapt to the growing environment that you find in a typical garden bed. So watch. The good news about tomato is that this entire stem will turn into roots. It will begin pushing roots almost immediately. And so in order to accomplish that, the idea is to plant this very, very deep. Now this is where you don't follow the 1/4-inch rule. See, this guy's already wilting a little bit. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going to take this whole plant, if you can watch this, and I'm going to just put this whole thing, a good portion of this anyway, right down there like that. I'm going to put that guy in there like that. Let me be kind of as gentle as you can be. Cover that up like that. There you go. So you've saved your tomato plant and it's going to be ready to go. The good news is that people like tomatoes year round, and well, the most popular tomatoes don't grow year round. So you have to kind of go with the season. And this is going to be a cherry tomato, and it will do very, very well in the summer. Just realize that it's indeterminate, so that means that it grows like Jack of the Beanstalk. But this is how you do it. If you start inside, you don't have quite enough light, you can simply use this planting technique to save your plant. Give it a few weeks on the bench, it's going to come out, and then transplant it into the garden. So there you go, another exciting edition of the Act Now series right here at the Urban Farming Institute in Oakland Park. Remember, if you like this series, well, come on, you can do whatever you want to do. You know really what you want to do. You want to subscribe, and you want to like, and probably you want to be notified when the next video shows up. So be sure to smash that bell. See you soon.